Greetings and welcome to another episode of Wild Mouse. I, of course, am your host, Taylor Bartle, and I am joined by a very special guest today. He just recently got back from his first ever trip to a Disney park for his 21st birthday. Please welcome to the show, my brother, EJ.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you for taking me.
Yeah, I was very excited to be able to take you to Disney for your first ever trip. I remember when we called you on Christmas and we said, okay, so your Christmas gift is we're going to fly you out here to the West Coast. And then your birthday gift is we're going to take you to Disney. And you were just in shock.
I thought you were pranking me. I was like, all right, where are the cameras? I thought it was a setup.
Yeah, you were just like, I remember you being like, you're shitting me. You're shitting me.
That is what I said. That is exactly what I said.
And so, I mean, this was your first trip out west since you were like a baby, right?
Yeah. I think I went to Seattle once, and I barely remember that because I was like 2 years old at the time.
Right. So, I mean, when you first got to the airport, what were your first impressions of California?
Well, the first thing that I was thinking was, I am so tired. I really hope my brother comes with an energy drink. For context, the flight that I had to wake up for took off at 6 a.m. or 6:30, one of the two. And the place is like an hour away, so I had to be up by 3 a.m. So I was incredibly tired by the time I got there. But landing in California and like seeing you again for the first time in years, it really was. It's something that I can't really like describe. But like going out into the airport and seeing you, and I'd never seen a palm tree in person before, so seeing that was like.
We had great weather too.
We did. We couldn't have gone at a better time.
Yeah, we went. It was March, and yeah, the weather was beautiful the whole time. We never really had like a flash storm or anything like that. So
I think the worst the weather was that one day when we started at California Adventure, and it was a little cloudy, and then even that cleared up by the end of the day.
Yeah. So yeah, we did 3 days at Disneyland, and we did park hoppers all 3 days, right?
We had park hoppers all 3 days. 2 days we started in Disneyland, and then one day we started in California.
Right. So what was your first impressions once we actually got to the park?
So I remember actually when we were driving in the Uber or the Lyft or whatever it was, you pointing Guardians of the Galaxy out to me. I'm like, oh wait, this is it right here. Because it really is just in the middle of Anaheim. Like, usually when I'm going to like an amusement park or something, there's sort of like, like a lead into it. Like, that's the way it was with, what was the one in New Jersey? Six Flags. But it really just kind of is in the middle of Anaheim.
Yeah, I mean, Disney World, too. It's like you go into the Disney World sign, and then there's still, like, I don't know, a quarter to half a mile before you actually get to the park. But yeah, Disneyland, it's like there's, across the street is hotels and businesses, and it's like, yeah, it's the middle of a downtown. It's kind of crazy.
We were very lucky with the hotel room that we were able to get to.
Yeah, that was all my girlfriend. She was like, I'm going to pay a little bit extra because we're going to stay right across the street.
And I mean, that couldn't have been a better spot as well.
Yeah, that was clutch. Especially,
Absolutely.
I mean, we'll talk a little bit later about something that happened and you had to run back to the hotel, and it was like, it's right there. Just do it.
I wasn't prepared for us to bring that up, but all right. I'll mentally prepare myself for that.
So when we got to the park, what was the first thing we did? Do you remember?
To the park or into the region?
When we went to the park for the first day. I mean, we got coffee first, obviously, but
right, we got coffee. The first day we went to the park was actually on my birthday. We didn't have access, so the trip was from the 21st to the 24th. And they know my birthday now. Whatever, I don't care. But I went here on the 21st. We didn't have access till the 22nd, which was my birthday. So we went in. The first day we went to the park was actually on my birthday, and the very first place that I wanted to go to was Galaxy's Edge.
Of course. Yes, we had to make... Because you said you, like, when we were texting, and I was like, do you have anything specific you want to do first? And you're like, I'm making a beeline directly for Galaxy's Edge.
Yep. Because there were two things that I wanted to do at Galaxy's Edge, and that was build a droid and build a lightsaber. Because they have these really cool programs there at Galaxy's Edge that let you do just that. You get to build your own droid and build your own lightsaber hilt and ignite it and everything and choose your own blade color. So we had a reservation for that that night. But the first thing I did was we went over to Galaxy's Edge and we went on to Smuggler's Run, I think we did first.
Yeah, because the line was like nothing.
Yeah. So we went on to there. I think I was pilot. I was
the gunner.
Yeah, and then your girlfriend was the
engineer. Yeah,
that's the last one. I was a horrible pilot, by the way. I crashed just several times. But
dude, being a pilot is hard.
It's hard, especially because I think the second time we went on it on like day 3, didn't you have to do both pilots as well?
Yeah, I was the only pilot, and we went in, and the guy was just like, "One pilot, huh? All right, good luck."
I can't imagine how bad it must be with it just being one person, especially since like you go up to the pilot, there's 2 seats, so you have 2 pilots, and one of them is like controlling the left and right, and one of them is controlling the up and down in the hyperdrive. So it was really like difficult being a pilot, especially because you have to coordinate with the other person. But you think it'd be easier with one person, but you're one person doing a job that's meant for 2 people. So like no matter what, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, well, the good thing was I don't know if it's like weight activated or what, but I didn't have to like control them both. So
right.
That would have been exhausting.
I can just imagine having to reach over, like stretched all the way across to the other side, pulling the lever that goes left and right versus the one that goes up and down.
Yeah, and trying to do both at the same time.
Honestly, I don't know how Han Solo does it.
He's just that good.
He's just that good. Well, he is the best pilot in the galaxy.
That's what they say.
So they say.
So when you first got to Galaxy's Edge, was it like everything you hoped for?
Absolutely. I mean, it really did feel like you were in the movie. Like, it is one of the most immersive lands in Disneyland, besides one of the ones in California Adventure.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, we talked about how it's right in the middle of Anaheim, but when you're inside there, you don't notice.
No.
You don't hear the traffic. You don't like see the buildings around you. It's incredibly immersive. And the Galaxy's Edge specifically, the detail is so like down to the minutia that it's really, really impressive what they've done.
Yeah, they have like ships parked everywhere. They have droids going around. It really is impressive what they did there. Actually, something that I also learned after the fact was that Batuu, the planet that is centered in Disneyland, or that Galaxy's Edge is centered around, was actually only made for Galaxy's Edge, but is now an official part of the Star Wars canon.
Oh, really? Yeah, I knew it was made for the park, but I didn't know that they had added it to the canon since.
No, yeah, it's now an actual planet that does exist in the Star Wars canon.
That's pretty cool.
And then,
I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, you had like certain things you needed to check off. Obviously, build your droid, build your lightsaber, which the meat of today's episode is going to be about the lightsaber.
Right.
But another thing you had on your list was the blue milk.
The blue milk. Oh my gosh. So in Galaxy's Edge, there's a milk stand, which is, they only serve 2 things there. They serve the blue milk, which was from episode 4. And you can tell how much of a Star Wars fan. I know what episode it's from. And the green milk, which was from episode 8, which I don't really care for the sequels, but that's not the topic of today's episode. But I wanted to try the blue milk because I'd heard it's really good. And it was actually, considering it's Disneyland, it was fairly cheap. It was only like $9, which when you're buying food at Disneyland, that's about the cheapest you're going to get. But they had a really cool operation and everything. All they had was the blue milk stand. They had like machines, even like the machines with the blue milk were like in like the wall and everything. So it looked like you were actually getting them from like a Star Wars outpost. And they had like tubs of blue and green milk up top. It was in like beakers and stuff. But obviously,
like, those details.
Not the actual liquid was in there, but it's just details.
How was it?
So I thought it was actually going to be like a dairy milk, but it wasn't. It was sort of like, and I think I made this exact same comparison when we were there. It was sort of like a horchata, like a rice milk. And it was kind of, Would you say it was blueberry flavored? Still can't really put my finger on what the flavor was. There was definitely some sort of fruit.
Yeah, maybe like a blue raspberry.
Maybe. But it was kind of like a slushy, and it was amazing. It's honestly like the perfect drink for if you're walking around on a hot summer day. Like, honestly, that's the place where you should go to just pick up a quick drink and just keep walking. Like, including Star Wars and everything, it was an amazing drink.
And you didn't, but if you're so inclined, you can get a little shot of alcohol in there.
You can too, but I just wanted to enjoy the blue milk and not be day drinking.
Well, I mean, since we're on the topic, we did go to the cantina that night.
That's true. That was our late night snack spot, and
you ordered the Yub Nub,
which was a fruity cocktail. It was like a citrus with rum in it, and that was amazing as well. That was my first proper drink that I had, because I'd had sips of your beer earlier throughout the day, but my first proper drink that I had after turning 21 was that.
That was the first one you ordered yourself, which Dad said was like that's the key, is you had to order it yourself for it to be official.
Right. And on top of that, they had these cheesy garlic pretzel knots there.
Those were awesome.
Yeah. It was basically like the perfect fusion between a soft pretzel and garlic bread, and I had a cheese dip as well. That's like the cantina is a bar, obviously. So when you're drinking, that is like the perfect like late night snack that you would want to go with it.
Yeah, I could have eaten a plate of those by myself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we shared one, didn't we? Because it had two of them.
Did. Yeah. The Yub Nub is a Malibu pineapple rum, Sailor Jerry spiced rum, citrus juices, and passion fruit.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And you just had one?
I just had one. I think I had a sip of your. What was the thing that you got?
The fuzzy tauntaun.
Yeah, where the dude went absolutely crazy.
Yeah, so the fuzzy tauntaun, for people who don't know, it comes with they call it a buzz button tingling foam, and it just has this white foam on top. And the bartender there, he was just like, "Have you had it before?" And I said, "No." And he goes, "Oh, this will be fun." And he just puts this like basketball-sized mound of foam on top of my drink. And I'm just like, how do I attack this? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
It looked like after you sprayed like a fire extinguisher on something. That's what it looked like on top of it.
And so I just shoved the whole thing in my mouth. I didn't know what else to do.
Well, what else do you do in that situation?
I mean, it's that or just like blow it off. I don't know, but like the whole appeal of the drink is this foam, so you gotta take it down.
And I remember you showed me a picture of like a previous time you'd gone here, and your friend got it, and it was not nearly as much as the bartender had put on there.
Yeah, his was maybe half, and we thought that was a lot at the time.
Lord.
And this guy is just like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with this guy.
But yeah, the cantina was a lot of fun. It really was like the perfect place to end off the night. So honestly, if you are going to Disneyland and if you are going to Galaxy's Edge, get yourself a reservation at the cantina. It's the perfect late night spot. Obviously, don't get a reservation at the cantina if you have someone underage there. Because you kind of it's a bar. You kind of can't do that. You kind of can't enjoy it if there's someone that can't drink there.
Yeah. The only times I've been with all adults. Then now though, like I remember the last time I went, it was like really hard to get a reservation.
Really?
But it seems like maybe the buzz has died down a little bit, because when this time it was fairly easy to get one, and I think there's like you might be able to walk in now.
Really? Well, because the land only opened in 2019, didn't it?
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I guess there was like some hype around it for the first couple years.
Yeah. I mean, when that first opened, everybody wanted to get in there, and it's a cool spot. So I don't know why. Maybe it's just like people have already been, so the hype is died down. But it's still, I would recommend going there. Absolutely,
definitely. We also on the topic of food, actually, there's another restaurant in Galaxy that's an actual restaurant called Docking Bay 7, which is where we had our dinner on the third day we went there.
Mm-hmm.
And that place was super cool on the inside. You actually had like I don't know what it's called. Like you have like rails with like claws in them that were like bringing supplies and stuff over.
Yeah.
And what did you have when we went there? You had the fried chicken bao, right?
Yes.
It was like fried chicken and coleslaw inside like a bao bun.
Mm-hmm.
And I had it was the shocking beef with Tatooine bounty, which
And how was that?
it was really it was honestly probably one of the best things that I had there. Well, aside from the stuff I gave it 10 out of 10, I'm not going to go into that right now. But definitely one of the better things that I had at Disneyland. The beef, the seasoning on it was really what stood out. Because it wasn't something that you would expect from like a theme park to have like really good seasoning on their food. But the beef was really nicely seasoned. They had like a spicy gnocchi in there. And it was like a bowl. They gave it to me in like an actual like pan. And so it was sort of like, I don't want to say a Chipotle bowl, but that's kind of like the best comparison that I can make it to. But it had like beef and gnocchi and arugula and bell peppers in it. And all of it just combined really nicely to make a really unique flavor and a really, really satisfying flavor, honestly.
Yeah, that place was really cool too, because it felt like, I mean, we talked about when we were there, I think we said it felt like a intergalactic cafeteria or something.
Yeah.
And it was cool because they had sound effects. Every once in a while you would hear like a spaceship, like a rocket go by.
And I remember we weren't intending to actually go there. And then you and your girlfriend took a look inside and we were like, oh my god, we should totally go here for dinner tonight.
Yeah, I think we went in to get something to drink. Maybe we got because they have a coffee with like Cocoa Puffs in it, which is amazing.
What? It had like the cereal?
Yeah.
What? Okay. That's interesting.
And so, yeah, I don't remember if we got that or if we just went in there for something else, but yeah, we were like, we should go to dinner here because this place is pretty great.
Yeah. Really, really fun restaurant to go to. And then the main thing, one of the things I did on the first morning after we went on Smuggler's Run was go to the droid depot and build my droid. So you go in, they have you pick out a personality chip, which actually changes the noises on the droid that you're building. And you get to choose what kind of model your droid, whether you're choosing an R series or a PB series. I went with an R series. That's like, obviously, I assume everyone in here knows what R2-D2 is. That's the type of droid that I was building. So you go in, they give you a tray of stuff, and there's this like huge conveyor belt with a bunch of parts going around. It was honestly kind of overwhelming at first. I had to be like, okay, let me think for a second and figure out what parts I want. You get to pick like a main body piece, your head, the legs, and then you need a wheel for it. I think the wheel is the exact same on every single one, though.
It seemed like it, yeah.
Yeah, but after you pick your parts, you go over to the... I don't really know, I guess you would call it the awakening station. I don't really know what else to call it. But you go over to the place, you build your droid, you put it into this little thing, and you hit a button on it, and it actually, like, you get to see your droid, like, wake up in front of you and start making noises. And
you were like, arise, my son.
Arise, my son. Well, what else am I supposed to say in that situation?
No, that was perfect.
And it really was a magical experience. God, I've never used that word before in my life. But seeing my droid come to life really did feel like, oh man, I'm in Star Wars. Like,
I mean, I'm glad you used the word magical because that's it feels so dumb and cheesy to say, and like PR speak or something. But there's something about Disney parks.
It really is. Like they use the word magical all the time in their parks, and I mean that's really what it is. Like, it's an experience you can't really get anywhere else.
Yeah, like, I mean, I know Disney costs a lot of money, but if you really just kind of let yourself go and be a part of it, and it feels like I'm doing a commercial now, but like,
we're not sponsored, by the way.
Definitely not by Disney.
No.
But just like I said, the little details and like the food is so good and the cast members are all just so fantastic at what they do that you get your money's worth, in my opinion.
Should we talk about Rise of the Resistance on that token?
Sure. Yeah, let's talk about it.
So, Rise of the Resistance is probably one of the best rides that they have at Disneyland, even if you're not a fan of Star Wars.
Agreed.
So what happens is you go in, You go into like this little waiting room. It happens on a lot of Disneyland rides. You go into like little waiting rooms where they give you like a sort of mission briefing on what is going to happen. And they have like a BB-8 animatronic, and they have Rey show up in a hologram being like, I can't remember exactly what it is. We're going to infiltrate something about the First Order, and then we're going to come back to base. And this was our first mission as members of the Resistance. So we get onto the ship there. We actually get onto the ship that is going to fly us there.
Yeah, but the doors open up and you go outside.
Yeah.
And then you go and you wait, and eventually the doors open and you get on a ship.
Yeah. And they even have like an animatronic of the captain piloting the ship. And there's like videos and stuff of like Poe Dameron and the others in the background, the other X-Wing pilots, like your entourage basically. And what ends up happening is you get sucked in by a tractor beam from, I think it was a Star Destroyer. It was a Star Destroyer, right?
I believe so, yeah. I mean, you would know better than me, but...
You get sucked in from a tractor beam from a Star Destroyer, and you're being questioned by the First Order. And so you come in, you land down, and now, here's the thing. When you go into the starship, there's a door on either side. So I'm thinking, I know what's going to happen here. This is going to be like a common illusion. As you go in this one door, the door opens on the other side, and you're going to go into like the Star Destroyer. The same door that we entered from was the one that opened. And the first time I went in, I was like, wait, what? How did we... Because I didn't feel any like movement or anything when we were in there. So I was really wondering, how did we get from here to here?
Yeah, I don't know, actually. I don't know if it's maybe an elevator and we went underground.
I would think it's an elevator.
But I really don't know. Yeah, that's when you get your first cast member, one of the First Order members comes in, and this has got to be one of the funnest jobs at Disneyland.
Yeah. I mean, you get to just walk in and be kind of an asshole, frankly.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, the First Order guy walked in and he was like, well, your first mission as Resistance recruits, and you failed! And they are not allowed to break character at all, but they all did a fantastic job. And he was, like, escorting us to our prison cells. You come out, and I'm, like, stumbling over my words, because I'm trying to, like, describe the feeling that I had walking out, and seeing, like, being on the Star Destroyer. Because it really did. Again, I've said this, like, probably a million times already throughout just this episode. It really did feel like you're in the movie. You can see like the gate from the Star Destroyer looking out into space, and there's a bunch of, I think there was stormtroopers standing there. I can't remember that specifically.
Yeah.
But it really does feel like you're in the movie. And then unfortunately you do have to wait in another line to get escorted to your prison cell. You know, the First Order's taking a lot of prisoners.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. You're still not on the ride.
No. This is all just the introduction.
Yeah, I mean, more and more Disneyland is doing this thing where it's like, you go through a queue and you think you're getting on the ride, but there's just more queue. But I almost like it better because it's interactive at least.
It does a great job of immersing you.
Yeah. And just this ride, I mean, this episode's not about this ride, so we won't get into too many details, but just the scale of this ride is just so awe-inspiring.
Yeah, you go in and you're on like a little droid carrier thing. You go into a room with like actual AT-ATs, like actual life-size AT-ATs in it, and it's like, what is this? How is this real life right now?
Yeah, like, where are we?
Because, like, you come outside, like, usually you go to an amusement park ride and you can see, like, oh, okay, this stuff is hidden in here. Like, I still have no idea where this stuff even is.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. Maybe we were underground. Maybe we were in a box warehouse somewhere. I have no idea where we ended up. But it was a huge room, that's for sure.
It's a huge room, but it really is impressive how immersive all of it is.
Yeah, and, that kind of brings us back around to Savi's workshop, which is where you build the lightsaber. And I thought this was going to be kind of more similar to the droid thing, where you just, like, pick up parts off a conveyor belt, strap them together, boom, you're done, have a great day.
No, this was an entire thing. And I'm gonna take us through it.
Go for it.
So, the lore of Savi's workshop is that it's a resistance outpost that teaches people how to build lightsabers. Obviously, we don't have have the Jedi Temple anymore. So we have to rely on a bit of technology to get them working. But, like, even the actual workshop itself, like, where's the droid depot? There was kind of like this big, like, sign, like, hey, this is the droid depot right here. Savi's workshop is kind of just, like, in a corner somewhere. Like, it's hidden even in, like, the context of it being in the theme park.
Yeah, I think we went over there and we had to be like, is this the lightsaber place?
Yeah. So, before you even get into the workshop, they show you the different kinds of lightsaber hilts that you can build. There's 4 of them. There is, I think it's like peace and justice, protection and defense, power and control, and elemental nature.
Yep,
and that's like the Jedi, the Old Republic, the dark side, and like a nature thing. I went with elemental nature because I thought it looked the coolest, and I kind of wanted like a vibe of like, this is something from scraps that were just thrown together. Which, by the way, you know what's funny? After we went on this trip, they released a new lightsaber theme that was exactly that, like made of like scrap metal pieces.
Dude, I saw that and I was like, I don't know if I should tell him.
I saw it and I was like, are you kidding me right now? But I mean, this isn't to say that I'm unhappy with the lightsaber that I did build. But I chose elemental nature because I thought it looked the coolest. I liked the sort of wild vibe of it. They give you like a little pin, which you would put on your station. So we go in, and there's this big room with like 10 or so stations where you can build your lightsaber. And I really want to say, shout out to the woman who was directing it this time. She did a fantastic job. I really wish that I could remember her name.
I know, yeah, she was great.
Like, really all the staff in Savi's, because it wasn't just her, there was multiple people, did a fantastic job, one of which I'll get into. But you go in, you place your little pin down, and that's how they know what parts to give you. So, they started off by giving us some, like, lore on lightsabers. They talk about, you know, like, the previous characters that use them. They talk about, they basically recap the movies up to this point, and then they say, we're going to give you a chance to build your own lightsabers now. We have some technology to help us do it, because we're not force sensitive. I'm not going to get into what that is, because I'll be here all day. But we have some technology to help with it. And so...
basically, kind of this, like, rogue group, right? Like, they're not part of the resistance per se. Like, they're not military or anything like that. They're just kind of this rogue group that's come together to kind of... almost like vigilantes.
Yeah, exactly. And they even have like the excuse of the First Order comes in, they see this, they just think it's all scrap metal, so they just leave. But no, it's all lightsaber parts. And so the first step was to choose our kyber crystal. And so basically what kyber crystals are, it's what makes the lightsaber blade come out. And there's different color kyber crystals, and that determines the color of your lightsaber. And there were 4 colors in Savi's workshop. There's other colors that you can buy in downtown Disney. But there were 4 colors that you could choose in Savi's workshop. They were blue, green, purple, and red, which are typically the ones that you would see in the movies. I chose a red crystal, and really funny, the guy that was handing out the crystals saw me choose the red one. He was like, oh, interesting choice. Because red is the one that typically the bad guys use.
Right.
So I set the crystal down, and then the next step was they gave us our, not the hilt, but like the internal of it, basically. So we actually had to put our kyber crystal into this little divot in the hilt, and then our hilt would activate, and it would make a noise. And I had a bit of trouble with mine, actually. Because the way you put the kyber crystal in is a bit difficult to do. There's like 2 spring-loaded pads. So you kind of have to press one of the pads in, and then put the kyber crystal in, and then hope you get it correct so that it's touching edge to edge, so that it will actually activate. And as it turns out, my hilt was actually defective. So they went and got me another one and put the kyber crystal in for me. And then that was the one that I ended up getting.
Yeah, when they bring out this tray, I want to say there's like 5 different rows.
Yeah,
it's like,
the next thing was the tray with the parts on it.
Okay,
and there's like
that's next. Okay.
Yeah, they gave me like the internal, like the skeleton of it, and I had to put the kyber crystal in, and then they gave us the parts.
Okay, yeah. So I remember they brought out this little like cafeteria tray, and it had like 5 different rows in it, and it was like the base, the top and bottom, basically. I know they had more scientific words for it, but
you had you had 2 options for the switch. You had 1 option for like the pommel, which is the bottom, and then the emitter was what the top was called, and then you had 4 options for different pieces of the hilt that you could put on either side. And so we started with picking the switch, and you put that around your kyber crystal, and then everything screws in around that. And I remember looking at all the pieces, and I can't remember if it was the emitter or the pommel, but I remember picking up one and just being like, nope, and immediately grabbing the other one.
Why? What just turned you off about it?
Because the other one looked a lot cooler.
Okay.
I had my eye on whatever it was before I even built it. But I was like, you know what? Just in case, let me take a look at this other one. And I was like, yeah, no, give me this one. And so I assembled my lightsaber, and they come over and check it once it's done, just to make sure that it's going to work when you actually put the blade in. And the lady was like, would you trade me 20 credit for it? I'm like, no. Oh, all right, well, let me just check this. And it was kind of a funny interaction. She was just like, all right, well, whatever.
What if you had said yes?
Would she have taken it and given me money or something?
You just leave there with nothing after paying $240 or whatever it was?
Yeah, it was like $240. And you just leave there with like $20. Well, that was worth it.
Yeah.
And then they come around, and there's these like big like tube bits, not 2 bits.
2 bits.
2 bits. That was Roger Rabbit. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
And they put the lightsaber hilts inside these tubes, and at the same time, everyone goes and grabs them, and they say, we're all going to ignite our lightsabers now. So on the count of 3, we're going to ignite our lightsabers in 3, 2, 1, and everyone ignited their lightsabers, and the room just lit up like a rainbow of colors, just green, blue, purple, red everywhere, and we all raised them towards the ceiling. And they had like music and everything playing, and we even heard like Yoda's voice. He was talking to us when we built our lightsabers.
Yeah, I wanted to mention that. At one point, it kind of cuts in with this audio of Yoda, and I guess he's speaking to us through the Force or whatever. And yeah, the hostess was talking back. They were having this conversation. It was really cool, and like the room would glow green whenever Yoda talked.
Like I really didn't expect it to be like as much of like a thing as it was. Like I'd seen videos of it beforehand of like people building it, but I honestly just expected it to be like a step-by-step process. I didn't expect it to be as much of like a theatrical thing as it was.
Yeah, we were, when you said you're paying $240 for it, we were just kind of like, okay, dude, whatever you want to do. But there's so much like pageantry to, like, again, I thought it was going to be like the Droid Depot where you just kind of pick up pieces and screw them together and it's like, you did it. But there's so much pageantry to it. It's like a 20 to 25 minute process.
Yeah. Like there's a lot that goes into it. So you're not just paying for the lightsaber, you're paying with the experience that goes along with it. And honestly, I have a bit of a collection going. I have a NeoPixel lightsaber that I got from Imperial Workshop for $170. So if we're just counting that as the price of the lightsaber, I think I'd say it's worth it if you're paying a little bit extra and you get the experience as well of getting to actually build your own lightsaber.
Well, yeah, and you get to say you did it in Savi's workshop.
Yeah.
And yeah, one of my favorite parts was like there's this kind of tube thing next to your little workstation, and you stick the hilt into the back of this tube, and then it kind of like folds open and reveals your lightsaber.
Yeah, it was really cool, and we all raised our lightsabers towards the ceiling. They said like, raise your lightsabers now, and so we were all holding them up. And one thing that I also really liked was that they gave us like a scabbard to put it in, so that we weren't just carrying lightsabers around all willy-nilly, and we actually had a place where we could put them so that they would be safe.
Yeah.
And that's
a nice little bonus.
Home.
What was that?
I said that really helped me on the flight back home.
I bet. I wonder what TSA thinks of all these people coming through with lightsabers.
Yeah. Like, what are these guys going to have a duel on the plane or something?
I'm kind of surprised we didn't just see random people dueling in the park.
Yeah. I saw several people with lightsabers after that, though. Like, I saw several people, mainly in the nighttime when the reservations were a thing, several people walking around with their own hilts. And, yeah,
And you wanted to fight them, didn't you?
I absolutely wanted to. I absolutely wanted, but I didn't want to break my lightsaber, and I didn't want to break someone else's lightsaber.
That's probably a good idea. Which, speaking of, like, your lightsaber, I mean, it didn't break, but you had, like, a problem with the base later, right?
Yeah, I did. And that was when I went back to the hotel room, and so what happened was, I guess we're going to talk about this now. We went on Tiana's, which used to be Splash Mountain. People might be more familiar with that name than Tiana's. And I was expecting, okay, yeah, it's just going to be a log flume. I'm going to get wet, obviously. I was not expecting what happened. So, honestly, like, the big drops on that ride weren't even that bad. But the second one, where you come down and then back up, I was soaked.
Yeah, I mean, I just recently put out an episode on Tiana's with my friends Rob and Miriam, who were also on my Splash Mountain episode. And we talked about how we all think that something is different that gets you wetter on that ride. I don't know if it's more water or if it's faster, but something about that ride is different now, and it definitely gets you wetter than it did before.
Because I was practically underwater with how wet I got.
And you were sitting in the front seat.
I was in the front seat, too. And, by the way, I'm never going in the front seat again, because I thought the front was going to be the one with the legroom. I thought it was going to be like Matterhorn. I was so cramped up in there. For context, I'm 6'7", so it was a good amount of these rides where I had to be like, okay, what seats have the best legroom on them? The front seat was not in on Tiana's.
Yeah, most of them were the front seat. I think it might be the back on Tiana's.
Yeah, Matterhorn was the front seat. I remember Space Mountain was the front seat, although Space Mountain didn't really make much of a difference, being completely honest.
Yeah, you had some trouble getting into Space Mountain.
Yeah, I had to wedge... On Space Mountain, I had to cross my legs standing up and then lower myself in there, and I was wedged in there. There was zero breathing room.
Yeah, I think the problem with Space Mountain is that it's not like one lap bar across the whole thing. Each person has their own individual lap bar.
Yeah. So I
think that was the problem. So you had to like squeeze your knees together to get that lap bar around your legs.
Right. But anyway, we're getting off topic. I was soaked, so much so that even like after walking around in the sun for like 2 hours afterwards, didn't make a difference. So I was like, yeah, I got to go back to the hotel room and change. And so that's why I had to go back to the hotel room. And while I was there, I was like, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to have to take all this stuff home somehow. Let me see if I can fit my lightsaber into my bag. And one of the pieces on it came loose. And wouldn't screw back in tightly. And so I was like, well, I'm glad that it happened while I was there, at least.
Right.
Because I was able to actually bring it back to Galaxy's Edge. And the same person that was actually directing the Savis that we went to went in and gave me a new piece. And even like the repair, she was in character. She was like, yeah, some of these pieces have to be sourced from different planets, so sometimes they don't want to play nice with each other. But I didn't even have to pay for the repair. They just gave me repair for completely free. I didn't have to show them a receipt or anything.
That's great.
So they were very, very nice over at Savi's workshop. It really was like, we want to talk about magical. This was a magical experience.
Yeah, I mean, even when you like picked out your theme,
yeah,
I love that the guy had this like it basically boiled down to like a toolbox.
Yeah,
but of course, it's obviously all themed. But it was so funny because it was kind of in the evening, so it was getting a little later, and so he's like has this flashlight, and it's almost like he's like selling drugs out of it or something. He's just like opens them one at a time, and he's like, "Yeah, you like that? How about that? Is that good? You want this one? What about that?"
Well, I mean, to be fair, like we are kind of trying to keep ourselves under wraps from the First Order. We don't want the First Order coming and confiscating our lightsaber parts.
Oh yeah, I mean it was all part of the whole show, but it was just so funny how it was kind of like this covert thing, almost like he's like opening a trench coat and being like, "Hey, how about this?"
Yeah, like everything there was like part of the thing, and they didn't, which is part of why it was so immersive, because even like the simplest of just showing like, yeah, these are the parts that you can get, was like this covert operation.
Yeah, it's extremely well done. The funniest thing I find about Galaxy's Edge in general is that, like, yes, everyone there is so in character. Everything is, from different planets and all this stuff. But then they're like, so is that going to be Visa?
Yeah. They still take our earthly credits over here.
Yeah, good to know Visa still exists in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, Visa is no. What's the word for whatever. I can't think of what I was trying to say.
What you're looking for?
I know what I was looking for.
Omnipresent?
Our Visa is all powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole Savi's workshop thing, like I said, I thought it was just going to be this quick kind of put your stuff together and have a great day, but the whole
you've done it before,
show
right?
of it. What's that?
You've never seen it before, right?
No, I've never looked into it. It's not something that interests me personally, so I've never really looked into it. I guess I looked into it a little bit when you wanted to do it, but I didn't actually read about the whole show of it.
Right.
And so you also got another kyber crystal. You talked about how you can get other ones at the I don't remember what it's called, the Star Wars shop in downtown Disney. Yeah.
So there's in downtown Disney there is a Star Wars shop. I can't remember the name of it either.
The Trading Post? Was it the Star Wars Trading Post?
I think so. I have my map open right now. Let me see. Star Wars Trading Post. Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
But there's that. And you go in and you can actually buy other colors of kyber crystals. And if you put the kyber crystal into your lightsaber, it actually changes the color of the lightsaber. So
have you put the new one in yours yet?
I did actually. That was actually how I found out that my thing was broken, because I was like, let me see if this actually works.
Okay.
And also I was trying to figure out how to pack it.
And that was another thing with those details. I remember you talking about how the packaging of the kyber crystal was so cool because it came in like a little, I don't know what you call it, but the packaging of it looked like
something from Star Wars.
Like something from Star Wars. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't really know what it's called either. But yeah, even that. And something else that I learned, which I wish I had known while I was there, was that if you put the kyber crystal into the Jedi holocron that you can buy from Galaxy's Edge somewhere, you unlock new voice lines from different characters. So I wish that I had known that before I left, because I would have so grabbed one before I left. But oh well, it's something to look forward to next time.
Okay, you're going to have to explain that to me, because I have no idea what you just said.
So, what a holocron is it's sort of like your typical sci-fi, it's like crystal that holds data in it, basically. In episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker,
he says through gritted teeth.
I say through gritted teeth. The main goal of that movie was to get to Exegol. And the information, no one knew where this planet was. But the information as where it was on a Sith holocron that was on the Death Star remains. And so they go to the Death Star remains to find this holocron, and it has this data on it. It's like your sci-fi data, what's the word? Like a data log, basically. And that was what contained the coordinates to Exegol on it. And then Kylo Ren came and destroyed it, and him and Rey have this huge, really awfully choreographed lightsaber fight. And then, as it turns out, oh, guess what? Kylo Ren had another one. And then Rey finds it and goes to Exegol. And then, I'm not going to recap the rest of the movie. But that's basically what a holocron is. So, when you put your kyber crystal into it, you get voice lines from characters who use that color lightsaber. So,
Okay.
like, if I put the white kyber crystal into the Jedi holocron, I would get voice lines from Ahsoka Tano, who just so happens to be my favorite Star Wars character, who you guys also saw while I was in the hotel room.
Yeah. Sorry about that. She was tiny. Is she tiny in the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm picturing her next to Anakin right now, and I guess she's somewhat small.
Yeah, because the cast member was probably like 5'1". Like they were pretty short.
That seems about right, actually. I mean, Anakin calls her Snips for a reason.
Snips.
Snips. That is Anakin's nickname for her.
Okay. So yeah, the different themes, I guess you would call them. I don't know what a better way to call them is, but you talked about you did elemental nature.
Yeah.
And the description of that, excuse me, says, this theme embodies the Force, an energy created by all living things, including brylark trees, Carthusian whale bones, and rancor teeth. And I remember the bottom of yours is like a horn.
Yeah. So it actually is like an animal part, and there even is like a part on my lightsaber, I don't know if you remember, that has like teeth on it. Like it's got teeth going all the way around.
Yeah, like Crocodile Dundee's hat or something.
Yeah, that's the perfect comparison.
Yeah, I remember when you were putting it together, and like I saw the horn on the tray, and I'm like, "Oh, do the horn, do the horn, do the horn." And then you put it together, and I was just like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I one of the videos that I saw before I went here, they had the pommel that was like a tooth instead of a horn.
Okay.
Like it was
that
like
one was kind of cool too, but it was too long. I thought
the horn,
the tooth,
Gotcha.
and the other one's Peace and Justice, which is salvaged scraps from fallen Jedi temples and crashed starships in these Republic-era designs honor the galaxy's former guardians. Power and Control, originally formed by Darkside warriors. This style features rumored remnants from the Sith homeworld and abandoned temples. And Protection and Defense, hilt materials bear mysterious motifs and inscriptions that reconnect users with the ancient wellspring of the Force.
And what's the new one?
It's Reclaim and Reforge, which is, I don't know if it's still there actually, because it's a limited time thing. But it says you can piece. Yeah, it just says for limited time beginning May 4th. So I don't know how limited we're talking about, but it says you can piece together a lightsaber from salvaged scraps brought to Batuu from bartering pirates exploring the Outer Rims.
I feel slightly better now knowing that it was a limited time thing.
Yeah, because I mean it was May 4th. Oh, I guess May 4th. So it was like a month and a half after we were there. Yeah. So it wasn't right after.
Right. But I mean, I feel slightly better knowing that it was a long thing.
I mean, speaking of which, we were there for the Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
And it turns out, I found out later that one of my favorite bands was performing there like 4 days later.
Yeah.
I was like, no!
I remember you found out about that when we were actually there. Because I remember your reaction.
Yeah, you're right. Because we saw the stage, and I was like, oh, I wonder what bands are performing. And I looked it up, and I saw Suburban Legends. And I was just like, oh my God! And the date was, like 4 days after we left. And I was just like, no!
Yeah, it was unfortunate timing.
It was heartbreaking. Because they do all kinds of Disney covers, so it makes total sense that they would be there.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, they have like a whole album of Disney covers.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, real briefly, since we're on the subject, the Food and Wine Festival, other than the booths kind of being in the way, because they were just like on the walking path, the food itself was really good.
Yeah. What was the thing what was that one churro? The maple bacon churro. I don't think that was part of the...
God.
You went crazy over that.
That was so fucking good. Yeah, if you're one of my Patreon listeners, you can listen to our 10 churro challenge, where me and my friend Tony G tried to eat every flavor of churro in one weekend.
Oh my gosh.
It was a terrible idea.
How sick were you of churros by the end of it?
Well, here's the really dumb part. At no point did either of us go, we should split this.
You all tried to individually eat every single churro.
not just tried, my friend. We did.
Oh my god. Oh my lord. Okay. Okay. You're both insane. Oh my gosh.
Well, yeah, never again.
Well, I say that like I didn't eat 7 churros while I was there.
That's was it 7?
Well, it was a lot.
You had quite a few, but you only had the original, right?
I think I tried your guys' churros when you would get them.
Yeah.
But I mainly just got the original ones because they were really good for like walking around and eating.
True.
The other ones tray or whatever, and you had like a dipping sauce to go along with it, so you couldn't really walk around with it.
Yeah, both the maple bacon and then I had like a peach one.
Yeah.
Both those like came in a little tray, so you couldn't really just like hold on to it and chomp on it.
What was the one at the Cozy Cone that just looked awful?
Oh, the key lime one?
Yeah, that did not.
It had green frosting on it, but the frosting like in the hot California sun would just get hard.
No, that just sounds awful.
It didn't look appetizing at all.
No, it didn't. I saw it on the menu and I was like, oh, that does not look good. Oh, that does not look good.
No, it was not. I mean, we didn't try it, but yeah, it did not look appetizing in any way.
I want to try it because it didn't look good.
Yeah. I mean, since we're talking about food, we got to talk about the Monte Cristo.
Oh, we have to. So
you were
I
obsessed with this sandwich.
Absolutely. I had a bucket list of foods that I wanted to try, and the Monte Cristo was like at the top of my list. So there is this restaurant in the New Orleans section, fittingly named Cafe Orleans. And normally it has a 3-month wait list. Thankfully, by the time that we were planning this trip, it was like December, January. And so we were able to actually get a reservation there.
I'll let you know. I woke up at like 5:30 in the morning to get that reservation.
Oh my gosh, okay.
So you're welcome.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, because I know the reservations open at like 6 a.m. And sometimes they open a little early. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to set an alarm. I'm going to get on that website at 5:30 and I'm going to wait until they open and I'm going to click the first thing.
And we had our Sunday dinner there. And the famous thing to get at Cafe Orleans is the Monte Cristo sandwich. And for anyone who doesn't know what a Monte Cristo sandwich is, it's basically a ham, turkey, and cheese sandwich that has been deep fried and topped with powdered sugar. Which sounds like it would be disgusting. I mean, I feel like the person who invented the Monte Cristo sandwich was probably on something.
Or just really fat.
Either that or they were on some sort of drug, but it was the best thing that I had there. It was just full of everything good. It was full of just delicious meat, ooey gooey cheese, and obviously it was deep fried, so of course it tasted amazing. It had powdered sugar, and it was served with like a raspberry jam as well, which I didn't really use that much, but it was kind of like a sweet flavor to complement the savoriness of the meat. And everything just went together so perfectly. And it was served with a side of garlic parmesan fries, which are always delicious.
I'm so glad it lived up to your expectations, because that would have just been so devastating if you had been like, oh, it's not really that good. Like,
no, it was amazing.
If you had the reaction to that you had to your bourbon julep.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Which, I think you broke the server's brain when he found out you were born in 2004.
21 years ago.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah. You could see like a beautiful mind with like the numbers flying around his head.
Yeah. But the bourbon julep was a mint julep with bourbon in it. Now, I've had mint juleps before, actually, not from Disneyland, but I've had them before. And they're usually like a citrusy drink with like a nice, like minty, like refreshing, like you don't really taste the mint that much in a bourbon julep, in a mint julep. Not this one, though. The only thing that I tasted in this was mint. And it felt like I was drinking toothpaste because that was what it tasted like. Now, you don't like mint, so you're obviously not the target audience for this. But I am actually, I'm a mint enjoyer. Yeah, I know. Oh, he likes the taste of toothpaste, whatever. But I couldn't taste the citrus in it. I couldn't taste the bourbon. All I could taste was mint. And it was, no. It was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, I tried it, and it was very minty.
It was all you could taste was mint. I don't know how much mint they put in there. I took out the sprig of mint because I thought maybe that'll help. Nope, didn't help.
Yeah, it was too minty.
Like, just imagine, like, the taste of, like, Trident spearmint gum. And, like, try to imagine just drinking that.
Basically, yeah. They have a new sandwich. It's a buffalo chicken beignet slider.
What?
So it's like buffalo chicken and coleslaw in between two Mickey-shaped beignets. And I am so curious.
What? I am also curious, but, like, that doesn't sound good, but, like, I want to try it.
Yeah, like, I love buffalo chicken, but the powdered sugar just seems like a strange combination. But I've seen videos of people going and getting it, and they say it's amazing.
I imagine it would be similar to, like, those donut burgers that you find at fairs.
True, yeah.
Or if you've ever seen the Boondocks, the Luther.
That's one of my coworkers actually said the same thing when we were talking about it.
Oh, there you go, then.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the, like, sweet and spicy kind of goes together. I don't know. I'm very curious. I guess I gotta go back.
I guess we gotta go back. I guess that's the only way to find out.
That's the only way. All right. Any last words on anything about our trip?
I mean, it really was a fun experience. I mean, I think my favorite part was honestly just getting to hang out with you again and for like an extended period of time. Because it had been forever since we'd seen it. It'd been like years. Because, for context, I live across the country.
Yes.
It was a lot of fun. I got to go on all the rides we wanted. I mean, Rise of the Resistance, Tower Terror, Indiana Jones. Oh, wait. Sorry.
Womp womp. Yeah, Indiana Jones was closed for refurbishment.
Yeah, you were pissed about that one.
Yes, that's one of my favorite rides.
I mean, I got to try all the foods on my bucket list. The Dole Whip, the Birria grilled cheese, best grilled cheese I've ever had. The Monte Cristo, which was amazing. Best thing I had there. I mean, overall, it really was a super fun trip, and I've been harassing friends and family with stories from it, even still up to this point. And I don't think I'm ever going to stop talking about this trip just because of how much fun it was. And it really was exactly what I needed after, like, midterms and all that.
Well, that's great. That's really awesome to hear and makes me very happy. I mean, maybe next time me and my girlfriend fly out east and we go to Disney World.
Maybe we do that next time. Who knows?
I don't necessarily want to go to Florida again, but that's the one reason to go to Florida.
The one reason to go to Florida. The one reason people would want to go to Florida. Apologies to anyone who lives in Florida.
Yeah, you know what you did.
Jeez.
All right. Well, thanks again for doing this.
Yeah.
This was a lot of fun.
No, thank you for taking me.
Yeah, of course. And happy birthday again.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you at home for listening, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Your attention, please. This episode of Wild Mouse has concluded. Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast player, and follow us on social media at Wild Mouse Podcast. Don't forget to visit the gift shop at wildmousepodcast.com. For exclusive bonus content, become a premium pass holder at patreon.com/wildmousepodcast. We hope you enjoyed your time and will visit us again soon. Thank you and good night.